2 cups of self-rising flour, 1 8-ounce container of sour cream, 1 cup butter or margarine, melted. Stir together all ingredients just until blended. Spoon batter into lightly greased miniature muffin pans, filling to the top. Bake at 350 degrees for 25 minutes or until lightly browned.
The top? Aren't you going to make that thing flow over?
No, is this the ingredient list for your D&D character?
Butter
No,
muffins. This is the butter muffin ingredient list.
He made a promise last episode, and by God, Gray is nothing if not a man of his word. Anywho, welcome to tonight's episode of Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestial Radio, all fandom all the time. My name is Trademark, and with me here tonight is RandomGreymane.
I like muffins.
Sherlock.
They're just basically like savory cupcakes, though.
And TheFangirl.
There's a certain horse who would tell you that that's blasphemy, sir.
Well, how is everyone doing this week?
Tired, but good.
Yeah, same.
It has been an interesting week.
The weather in the Midwest has been oddly warm. Unfortunately, tomorrow we're going to have a dip back into the toes of winter, and I'm already dreading it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can't we just have spring?
March lies. It is lying.
Can't we just have spring now?
It would be nice.
According to Animal Crossing, it's supposed to be spring.
It's supposed to snow next weekend for me, or this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, nothing really interesting has been going on for me apart from the fact that I've gone back to listening to one of my favorite stand-up comedians, Christopher Titus. I don't know why. I just love his particular style of comedy because I think I figured it out. I think it's because there's always, like, continuity between his sets. Every other comedian always finds, like, a theme. But Christopher Titus, yeah, he picks a theme and he writes a show around it, but there's always consistency. Like, asshole dad, messed up childhood, 6 stepmothers, and some messed up girlfriends and a bitch ex-wife.
Yeah, bitch ex-wife and hot current wife.
And you'd think that setup would be tired after a while, but every time Christopher Titus pulls a new card out from the deck, and he plays it, and everyone loses their minds. I was listening to Born with a Defect, and then I decided to give his podcast, because yes, he has one. I decided to give that a shot, and I believe that was the Armageddon Update, which you can find on...
To quote the McElroys, everybody has a podcast but you!
Yes, exactly. The Armageddon Update. It's a little bit political, I will say, because, I mean, fuck, it's about the end of the world and all the ways that it's going to happen.
Including how it's happening as we speak.
Yeah. But, you know, they like to add their funny insights on it, and they don't, like, just pick apart one side. They pick apart the other side, too.
I mean, we could go on and on about other better podcasts.
But we like to talk about the ones that we actually like. It's been an interesting listen for me.
Go listen to people getting murdered. Go listen to the Casual Criminals podcast.
Ooh.
No.
Well, for me, since the last couple weeks, I've just been continuing on with my Lord of the Rings news. I won't talk too much about it, but I've mostly been having to deal with the toxic fans. Oh, God, they're horrible.
All the racists. There's no black people in the earth unless you're liar! There are many.
Incorrect.
This
is incorrect.
No. What they're complaining about is that there are no black elves or dwarves or black hobbits.
Lies.
It's
lies.
Middle Earth. They have a different fucking genealogy than us, alright?
Plus one more important thing. This is an adaptation. The filmmakers have a right to change what they like.
Yes.
I also have some...
fuck over it.
Yeah, I also have some other information for the fans out there who have been so toxic and vile. They have the blessings of the Tolkien Foundation to do this. They have consultants on hand to say whether or not something can be used or not.
Tolkien Foundation is fine.
I kind of question that for the simple reason that there's a bald person with enough money to persuade them to do anything.
Yeah, but he's
so-
being hands off. He's not doing anything. He's financially backing it. That's it. He's honestly hands off. At least that's what they said in this Vanity Fair interview. But all right, so
even so, with the Tolkien Foundation's blessing on it, and since they have the right to say so, because they are literally the right holders to Tolkien's works, y'all can fuck off. They got permission. It's canon and official.
Yep.
It can't. But here's a couple of things I did find out. It cannot be canon to the New Line Cinema films.
That's the difference, and we're fine with this.
So, because there was an actual picture of Isildur, well, at least his chest, holding his sword, holding Elendil.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, not Isildur. He's Elendil holding Narsil, and it does not look anything like the Peter Jackson sword.
And that's fine. It can be.
And that's fine.
This is its own separate entity, and we're okay with this.
So what we did find out is that the Amazon producers have the rights to the 4 books, the original trilogy, and The Hobbit, and the appendices. They don't have rights to anything else. But like I said, when I said they have when they have members of the Tolkien Foundation on hand to collaborate with, they can go to them on a case-by-case basis saying, can we do this?
The answer most of the time will be yes.
I keep telling them, just hire Stephen Colbert. It won't be an issue. He knows everything about it.
Oh, and I do want to put to rest of this one thing about happened. They had to fire one of their Tolkien experts. And it's not because he was saying that they couldn't do something or that he was getting mad at them for not doing something right. It's because he broke an non-disclosure agreement clause.
NDA.
Yeah.
NDA.
And he broke an NDA. So Amazon's like, sorry, dude, we gotta let you go. You broke an NDA.
Yeah.
That is the biggest cardinal sin of any production company. Doesn't matter what, many production companies will overlook some of the worst human scum of the earth, or some of the biggest indiscretions that a person can commit if they're still making them money and if they're still keeping the secrets. But if a person, even the nicest, best, most knowledgeable person, even if it's somebody who is indispensable at the time, if they break the NDA agreement, their ass is out the door.
The perfect example of this was the fact that they repeatedly told Tom Holland wrong information.
Yes, because he cannot keep his mouth shut.
He is horrible at keeping secrets. So they repeatedly gave him wrong information, and he would put it out there, and people would just go nuts, and then they'd find out, that's not really the real information.
On top of which, as he described, they never gave him a full script. They only gave him the line of that the person above him was about to say, and then the line after his spoken one. They reverted. Here's the thing: they reverted to the old Shakespearean line distribution method with Tom to keep him from spoiling shit. This is how Shakespeare used to have his actors do their shit. He'd give their actors literally their lines with the leading line before their cue to be their mark. So they'd know exactly what they were supposed to say. But he did that out of ease and because he was writing shit on the fly. They did this so Tom wouldn't know what the fuck was going on in the movie and therefore leak everything.
Because he did everything. Anytime there was a chance and people asked him, he would just pop something off. It would be wrong, most times, but he would just pop something off.
I think the only thing he managed to keep his mouth shut about was his relationship with I forgot her name, the actress who played Mary Jane.
Zendaya.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think he managed to keep his fucking mouth shut about.
He's always had a crush on her, and then he got to actually be in a thing with her.
Play her character's love interest. They got to play love interest together. It's great. It's kind of adorable.
Yeah. This is what happens when you actualize your life.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot better of a love story than the Twilight actors who tried dating for a little while.
I knew it was coming. Still
Well,
a
to be
better
honest,
love story than Twilight.
Here's the thing. It's that, and Kristen Stewart's gay, but nobody will acknowledge it.
Is she?
Not even herself.
Yes, she is. She is gay. She has a partner right now who is female, and yeah, they are in a relationship. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the gal pals." That's her girlfriend, you bastards!
Okay, I'm talking about back when the movies were being made. She and
Robert Pattinson.
Robert, they did date.
That was a studio publicity grab. They were told go out with each other because it'll make people see the movie, and they pretty much had no choice.
Oh, that's creepy as fuck.
Plus, she needed a beard at the time.
Of course. And now Robert Pattinson is Batman.
And now he's Batman, and she's trying to live her goddamn best life as a lesbian in Hollywood, okay?
Yeah, far away from the Twilight movies. Because good lord.
Well, I'm sorry to say she needs to get some more acting chops, because the next thing I remember her doing was that Snow White movie and The Huntsman, and God, that sucked.
Oh yeah.
You did not see her as a child actress in Panic Room, sir. She can act. She can act. It's just she keeps getting asshole and shitty directors who give her shitty roles.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's always what I look at first if I don't like how an actor's acting. I look at the director first to see if it's just a shitty director, because there's a lot of them are. We had that problem with the Star Wars prequels, okay?
I mean, look at Natalie Portman.
And look at Natalie Portman, okay?
She's a phenomenal actress. She just had a shitty writer.
So she had a shitty writer, a shitty director, shitty dialogue.
They tried to fix it in the third one, and they fucked up. Anyway,
man.
Hollywood aside,
I think we should leave the station here.
Yeah. It is time. It is time for the Trainwreck. You all know what this show is. I look across the internet for dumb internet news over the course of a couple weeks or so. I come up with some softcore news and also some hardcore news, and there's some music breaks somewhere in the middle. And this week, I had to scramble a little bit because, well, all eyes are on some other news that we won't discuss here on the Trainwreck. You know what it is at the time of March the 2nd, 2022.
We can say where it is, Trade. All eyes are in Ukraine right now, so...
We acknowledge what is happening, but we wish to bring some levity to the world to help ease this horrible tension we're feeling.
Exactly. Okay. So, we're not talking about that news, but we are talking about the news that I had to admittedly scramble a little bit to find this week, but I think we've got a decent enough roster. So, with that being said, we're going to go on our first break, but we'll be right back with Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestia Radio, all Phantom all the time. Except when it's decent actors getting shitty roles and butter muffins, apparently.
I like sunflowers.
Good for you. Welcome back to Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestia Radio, all fandom all the time. It's time to start the softcore material, and it's time to start with a short and sweet one. And once again, Trademark has no clever segue. I'm just gonna fucking rip the Band-Aid off of this.
Do you want a softball first to set the blow, or do you want that after?
Yeah, pretty much. So with this article in particular, we have a burglar who claimed that he was sleepwalking.
I mean, plenty of other crimes have been blamed on sleepwalking, and only one or two in the history of anything have ever actually been accepted.
That's not how sleepwalking works.
No, it is not. This happened on February 18th. An accused auto burglar told Louisiana cops that he was sleepwalking when he entered a parked pickup late that Wednesday evening. Jesus Christ, Trademark. responding to a call about a African-American individual pulling on car door handles in the parking lot of a Monroe apartment complex, police spotted Christopher Samuel, 22, walking away from the lot. A witness told officers he observed Samuel trying to enter multiple vehicles before he was able to get into a 1994 Chevrolet truck. When cops confronted Samuel, he reportedly admitted entering the pickup but said he did so because he was sleepwalking.
But you're not now.
No, you're not. Despite that explanation, Samuel was arrested and booked early that Thursday in the local jail. If convicted of a felony burglary count, Samuel could face a maximum of 12 years in prison. Apparently his home is more than 3 miles away from the spot where he was apprehended. Yeah, that's not how sleepwalking works. Let me tell you how sleepwalking works. First off, you're never aware that you're sleepwalking. You're only aware of it when you wake up. And that's only like 5 minutes afterwards, because you groggily wake up and you go, where the fuck am I? Because fun fact, sometimes when you sleepwalk, you don't go back to your bed.
You speak like you have experience, Trade.
I have been known to have sleptwalk during my childhood. Sometimes I would appear in my parents' bed because children get in their parents' bed. Sometimes they're afraid of the dark, whatever. Other times, and I'm not afraid to say this on air, as a child, I sleptwalked into my parents' bathroom and chose to use the shower as a toilet.
Well, in most houses, the pipes go in the same place.
I know, but even so, it's just like, that must have been such a strange sight for my parents to have been woken up to. So, yeah, sleepwalking doesn't work like you have demonstrated it to work, good sir.
Mrs. Greymane's probably going to yell at me for telling this story. We were house sitting at a friend of mine's parents' house while they were in California. They had moved there due to the economic issue in like 2008, 2009. And I'm sitting downstairs. I'm doing some computer work on a laptop and sitting there, and she comes downstairs and and looks straight at me and goes, "Where's our son?" And I went, "We don't have a son." And she's like, "Yes, we do." No, honey, I think you need to go back to bed. Okay. And she went back to bed, and then she's like, "I never said that." Yes, you did.
That
yes,
is
you
like,
did, honey.
that is almost some like creepypasta shit right there, where like your wife believes that you have a second child, like a mystery demon child that's just lurking in the walls.
It was pretty confusing to me because it was like out of the blue. It's like, what do you mean, our son? So there's she'll complain at me for selling that story, but that's okay. You need to hear it.
What about you two, Shirley and Fanny? You tell me you never had any experience with sleepwalking, whether it be yourself or somebody else.
No, not really. I had an experience with somebody who slept-talked.
That happens.
It was a friend of mine who I only shared a room with him when we went to some type of, elective activity. It's like band camp thing. We went like on a 2-day event to go. I don't even know what it was for because I wasn't in the thing that they were in.
At band camp.
Yeah. It was like they were there for choir, but I got to come because I was in theater and they needed some grips to help them move some stuff around on the stage.
Makes sense.
I'm like, I work at theater. I'm in the theater department. And I like carry sets all the time. I'll help you guys out. So he just set up one time and we had a whole straight conversation, and then he just plopped back down. And then I said, "What the fuck were you talking about last night?" He's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "You set up and you asked me questions and I had to answer, and then you sounded like you weren't making sense and you fell back asleep." He's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry."
This is
I thought you meant like sleep muttering, like, "And that's why I'm king of the rapids.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
no,
expect a Q&A.
It's funny you mention that because that's actually the reason that my one uncle got honorably but medically discharged from the Navy.
Oh.
Is because he would talk in his sleep and he would answer questions. Okay, and that's like, it's
That's
like,
not good. That
yeah,
is
that's
not
not
good
something
when
you
you
can
are part
have.
of the U.S. military.
Right. So so they basically said, we can't have that.
That is a liability.
But yes, that was
But,
interesting.
We'll talk about sleepwalking, sleep talking crap. So, something I've been known to do in the past is sleep fight.
My dad did that.
Yeah, no, like when there have been several times. So, you know how when you're growing up and you have siblings, sometimes you have to share a hotel bed with your brother or sister or whatever.
Yeah.
Or sometimes mom, or sometimes dad and bro will sleep on one bed, and mom and sis will sleep on the other one. So regardless of who I would end up bunking with in some of these family excursions, most of the time they would get upset with me, or in mom's case, she'd be concerned. But with my brother, he would be upset because, they'd be like, "You beat the crap out of me last night." I'm like, "No, I didn't. What are you talking about?" "Yes, you did. You rolled over. You were hitting me." I'm like, my mom would mostly express
what did you
concern with
do?
like mom would express concern whenever it would be me and her sharing, and she'd be just like, "Honey, is everything okay? Are you sure you're okay? Because I don't know what dreams you were having, but you hit me really hard." And I'm like, "I'm sorry."
You just wake up next morning and whoever's in bed with you just wakes up with teeth missing and a black eye.
Bruises. Like, I've left bruises. I've
Jesus.
kicked people out. Code can attest to this. I have literally kicked him out.
I was about to say, but I didn't want to go too far. I feel sorry for Code.
On the barrel of these actions.
It's never been intentional. I just end up just moving, and sometimes weird dreams happen, or I don't know, it's a twitch or something, but I end up just shoving, kicking, and then suddenly I wake up because boom, he's fallen off the bed. And I'm like, "Oh, baby, are you okay?"
You just wake up, "Are you okay?" And he just slowly pans up with a deadpan expression, "Am I okay?"
Exactly.
My mom loves to tell a story about how she woke up one middle of the night because the bed was moving around a lot. She's like, "What the hell's going on?" And here's my dad, sound asleep, standing up in the bed, doing like side kicks. Okay, because he was having a nightmare, and that was back when he was still seeing his gang friends.
So what, your dad stands up and does kung fu?
Yeah, that's only happened ever once. I don't know if he took steps to make sure it didn't happen again, but she said that's the only time it ever happened, but it was like when they had the basement apartment in downtown Chicago or something. And he was he did. She woke up and here he's standing up in the bed doing a side kick against nothing.
Wow.
So yeah,
my dad was pretty weird.
So yeah.
Yes, getting back to the article in question, that's not how sleepwalking works.
No, you don't just suddenly snap out of it and go, "Oh, I was sleepwalking." No, you are not aware you have been sleepwalking until someone shakes you.
Yeah,
and then you just go, "What the fuck?"
You just be like, "Why was I was in bed. Where am I?"
Also, it is a myth that if you wake a sleepwalker, they will die. That is a myth.
That is a myth.
Okay,
that's a myth. It's not that they'll die. It's not that they'll die. It's the myth. Like it comes from a very old medical practice of not shocking them. They think it's best for to not psychologically fuck them up if you just wake them up from a dead sleep when they're standing up and walking. They're afraid they might hurt themselves or psychologically might damage them. And I'm like, I think they would get psychologically damaged by waking up in the middle of fucking nowhere, wherever they were supposed to be, and being like, "How the fuck did I get here?"
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think
so.
they would approve.
They
I
would-
think they
I-
wouldn't mind.
They'd be more.
Also, what the
freaked
fuck
out
do you think
making-
your alarm does?
more freaked out realizing they've been driving their car in the middle of the fucking freeway while asleep. And yes, that has happened.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think this person would have actually gotten away with it if he committed to the bit. If he didn't just say,
Yes.
"Oh, I guess I was
Yes,
sleepwalking,"
absolutely.
then he could have gotten away with it because, as we have just demonstrated, there are a plethora of possibilities that a person can do while they're sleepwalking, from pissing in the shower to kicking imaginary enemies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
Just-
driving
ugh.
to I think it was DemiCon in Des Moines, or maybe it was Icon in Coral City, Iowa. It was a convention. And there was a point where I had been up all night before prepping, and I realized that I woke up within like 15 minutes of my destination and I didn't remember driving it.
Oh, that's
dear
fucking
God.
scary. I
It-
hope that
it-
was a
it scared-
long stretch of road with no traffic
It-
lights.
It scared the shit out of me. It was in the middle of Iowa, and yeah, it was like, wait. When did I go to sleep? I don't remember falling asleep.
Oh, that is fucked.
It was scary as shit.
Whew.
Get sleep, people.
Yeah, get sleep.
And criminals don't try. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, this.
Or if you're going to try, at least act. Commit to the bit.
commit to the part, yes.
Speaking of commitment.
Oh, before we do, I do have a funny joke that I found out. Or not a funny bit of news that I found out about. Just a little bit of a mention here.
All right.
So apparently, in honor of St. Patrick's Day coming up this month, Dunkin' Donuts is making a macchiato, a shamrock macchiato.
That doesn't surprise me.
So what it looks like, imagine this, in a Dunkin' Donuts cup, you've got this layer of green, and I mean like just green.
Like Hulk
toxic ooze green from the Ninja
Ugh.
Turtles movie.
Ooh.
And on top of that, you've got the coffee. And they say it's made with, Irish cream, or at least the flavoring of Bailey's Irish cream.
Uh-huh.
I hope the flavoring and not actual booze, because I think Duncan would get in big trouble. So I was just, it looks really fucking weird. I don't drink coffee, but I don't know if I drink this, because I'm just like, ugh, it's green. Green, and it's like, it's toxic waste green and brown. Why? Although in a completely unrelated news article, Italy has declared war on Ireland.
I hope that's not actual news.
No, it's
No, not
a
really.
joke.
Okay, good. Anyway, like I said, going back to the subject of commitment. It's time for one of those classic things. And of course, it's from Florida. We have seen a plethora of things being shoved down a man's pants in an effort to steal certain items.
Because apparently people think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, however, I never thought the phrase, "Is that a crossbow in your pants, or are you happy to see me?" would ever be words that I would ever say.
This is the title of the episode today. Everyone chose violence.
Yeah.
So you have chosen death.
Florida man.
This morning I choose violence, and apparently so did this guy.
Florida man accused of stealing crossbow by stuffing it down his pants. And the tagline for this article, "You just can't make this stuff up." That is a quote from
Yeah, no, you can't.
That is a quote from Brevard Sheriff Wayne Ivey.
County again.
Yeah, Brevard County. Hitting close to home.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the important question. Was it loaded?
That's a good question. Let's find out.
I mean, it would be very difficult to be loaded.
You never know.
I'm watching the
He's still
video of this
wrong.
right now. That thing is fucking massive. Like,
He's stolen the wrong object. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay. I have seen Stranger Things, and I have seen someone attempt to steal a guitar. Anyway, Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey, on the week of February 23rd, posted surveillance video to Facebook showing a man who he said attempted to steal a crossbow earlier the month of February by shoving it into his pants and walking away on a crutch. Okay. On February 6th at the True Value store on Highway 1 in Mims, Darren Durant, 46. He was allegedly seen on unshared portions of the video, stealing a pair of cutting tools from a shelf and using them to snip zip ties holding a Raven Rio crossbow in place. Entering the video after turning the corner with the compound bow and proceeding to conceal it with his clothing, Durant then walked out of the store undetected.
Okay. First, okay, this sounds like a guy who's fighting vampires, okay, and he just needs the weapon, and he doesn't.
Shouldn't have gotten in his way. He should not have gotten in his way.
Yeah, we should not have gotten in his way.
It's like that one video it's like that one police cam video we saw in LA like 20 plus years ago about a guy who looked like Blade being attacked by riot police and shrugging off and shrugging off a fire hose and mace and pepper ball guns and tasers.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, we made a mistake.
Yeah. Second thing, he stole the wrong object. Okay. What he should have stolen on a crutch was a shotgun. Okay.
that would actually be.
It goes right down the leg.
Yeah.
Okay. Your leg is stiff as if there's a brace or a crutch there, and you use a crutch to leave. So therefore, the shotgun goes with you. Now you're going to set off the alarm, but you know.
Yeah, like I'm watching the video right now, and he shoves the thing in his pants, and then he turns around to face the camera and hops on his crutch. It looks like he has like developed one of those like rare, amazing, and disgusting conditions where a man's ball sack just develops into a tumor. Just and he's wearing sweatpants, so it's just like big fucking bulge.
Here's the thing, though. I've seen special. There was this old reality show where essentially they showed store owners how people manage to steal stuff out of their store.
Yep. By
showing them by having their own inside plants kind of go in and steal and test how easily they could steal it, and then they would up that store security system, kind of like a think Restaurant Impossible or Kitchen Nightmares, but for retail stores.
The technical term is called penetration testing.
Yeah.
No joke. That's actual.
And it's actually a
very lucrative business, and in fact,
very much so.
Oh, yeah,
and you find a lot of black hat groups in the hacking community that do that kind of stuff on a industrial level and a massive scale with computer systems. That's where the entire movie The Sneakers comes into play.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this reminds me of that situation, and there was an episode. I remember watching an episode once where they did one of these tests, and they were like, we're going to have our guy see if he can go past your staff, like, because they were talking to the owner, and the staff didn't know that this was happening. So they were testing their staff to see if someone would notice or was paying attention. So they were like, we're going to see if your staff noticed this. And the staff manager managed to fit, or the plant managed to fit, what was it? I think it was a whole ass washing machine underneath the shit behind their fake wheel. Like, they were pretending to be in a wheelchair with a bunch of shit on the back of it. Like, you know how sometimes or something. I don't know. But no, wait. Wrong episode. Anyway, there was an episode where somebody fit. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was a grill.
Large.
There it is. It was a grill. It was one of those grills on wheels. They were like, I wonder if I can get past the store with this. And it was this lady, and she had on this fucking dress. She managed to get the fucking thing underneath her entire dress as she walked herself out with it, and nobody stopped her! And the alarm didn't go off either! There was not... And she just walked herself out with a fucking grill underneath her skirt, and we were just like... And I was just floored, like, what? What?
Okay. I do have some more information here. Employees later noticed that 2 crossbows had been stolen.
Oh no. 2 for 1.
And deputies were able to obtain an arrest warrant for Durant following an investigation, citing 2 prior felony theft convictions already on his record. Durant was located in the parking lot of a nearby restaurant where he allegedly tried to run from a Brevard deputy before being arrested and booked into jail on February 8th.
Never run.
Why do people hang around after? I'm just going to go to this nearby restaurant. No.
Go to a different city.
Go to a different city.
Stealing is a hard... Like, they have this weird thought where they're like, wow, stealing is really hard work. I'm hungry all of a sudden. I'm going to get something
I'm
to
hungry.
eat.
I'm gonna go on over to the Denny's.
I want my waffles, damn it. I deserve waffles for the stuff I stole today.
I just want rob the Walmart. I'm going across the road to the Mickey D's.
Why go across the road? The Mickey D's is in the Walmart. Or at least it was, and then it got replaced by a Domino's. But either way, food.
Ours is a Subway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no joke. That's what happened to my local Walmart. One of them, anyway. Anyway, he's currently jailed in Seminole County on unrelated burglary charges. Once those charges are dealt with, Durant will eventually face felony petite theft charges in Brevard County. Just when you think Yeah, petite. Just when you think you've seen it all, this guy takes carrying a concealed weapon to a whole new level, as he proves to all of us that you can actually stuff a crossbow down the front of your pants, Sheriff Ivy said.
This is going to show up in a D&D game somewhere.
Yep.
Someone's going to argue that you can't stuff a crossbow down your pants and hide it.
The
And
rogue.
sure enough, the rogue's going to argue it, and the DM's going to go, no, I don't think you can do that. Roll your stealth check.
There's going to be a
and then they're gonna
weapons...
look it up. They're going to
I can actually tell you that it already has in one of the games that I played before I met you guys.
Of course.
And it wasn't
There
a
you go.
crossbow. Wasn't a crossbow. It was a lance.
Whoa. A lance. How tall was the guy hiding the lance, and how tall was the lance?
I don't remember, but a lance is usually, a spear that you use on a horse.
Yeah.
So,
Is that a
it's pretty long. We were entering a city that basically required us to check our weapons at the door.
Yeah.
And our rogue said, "No, I'm going to hide all of my stuff and get it in." Yeah, we all want to try at least hide one thing. We don't want to be defenseless in here. So, and my DM looked at the rogue, and he had a lance in his inventory, and he said, "You got a lance in your inventory? Yeah? You said you want to bring them all in? Yep. All right, roll it. Nat 20. And he just looked at it and he's like, "Fuck you." All right. You walk in
How?
with this lance shoved up your ass.
Was it collapsible?
I don't know. The DM said I have to defer to the rolls.
No. Here's how I would have done it. Like, I would have rolled the perception of the fucking weapons checkers / guards, making sure people don't bring contraband in. I was like, this guy has briefly turned his head to deal with a woman who has spoons in her pockets while you walk by with this lance poking 3 feet above your head but just barely covered by your cloak hood.
Oh, man.
I would have run it the other way. I would have said, "Yeah, no, you're not going to sneak that by, but they're laughing so hard that if you keep walking, they're not going to be able to follow you."
Anywho, time for our final softcore article for the night. Apparently, this has been a long-running investigation. I wish that we had talked about this on other episodes, though my memory is shit, so we probably have talked about this one. But let's find out. Beef Bandit steals $15,000 worth of meat from steakhouse after interviewing for a job.
There's the beef. Apparently, this guy took it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steak.
This happened on February 18th. Roswell, Georgia. A man
God.
called the Beef Bandit has been identified by Roswell police. He's wanted for...
I am apparently 12. I am sorry. I am 12. I admit it.
Oh, dear. Well, one of us had to be. I mean, given what we were laughing about 2 minutes ago. Anyway.
The beef bandit strikes again.
Yeah. He's wanted for stealing around $15,000 in expensive cuts of meat from Uncle Jack's on Canton Street. Roswell police confirm the suspect is Warren Kearney of Sandy Springs, who was hired and scheduled to work at Uncle Jack's on that Friday. He's now wanted on warrants for 2 counts of second-degree burglary. The upscaled steakhouse was stocked up for Valentine's Day when the thief broke into a walk-in cooler just outside the back door of the restaurant Monday morning. Alright. Note to restaurants. Your walk-in cooler should have a door that is inside the building. If they can access the walk-in cooler without going into the actual building, you've done something wrong. So let's see. He took boxes of everything from Kobe to Wagyu beef to ahi tuna to their famous long bones.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, that's...
He knew the cuts he wanted.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted.
They're like 20 inches long, said celebrity restaurant owner Willie Deagle from his office in New York. Now you're running around with Fred Flintstone's rack of beef inside your car? And there's 12-year-old Gray.
You're talking about a beef bandit that's got 20-inch long beef. Okay? How am I not supposed to laugh at that?
I have never heard you laugh.
Now that he's
that
mentioned
hard.
it, I am fucking imagining this shit happening in the Flintstone style of animation where it's just like they're walking in there and just toss the meat into the car, they get into the thing, and then they run their feet underneath it to get away.
So Deagle said they added extra protection, but the man returned just 3 days later. He saw bigger and better locks came with big deadbolts and cut them off, Deagle said. I'm so shocked someone came back that fast.
I'm not. You know what
You're
meat,
making-
you know
you're
what meat
making
costs
me-
now?
You're making the jokes just they're low hanging fruit at this point. Bigger and better.
Yeah.
Also the beef
They
bandit
came with
strike.
They had more with protection this time.
Oh, good lord.
You know what? The Beef Bandit Strikes and the Beef Bandit Strikes Again are perfect gay porn film titles. So, you know, what are we supposed to do here? Okay.
Good lord.
How can we not be 12 on this one? I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
keep reading.
The second burglary, which occurred on a Thursday around 6:30 a.m., was also captured on surveillance video. It shows the same man taking out even more boxes and loading them into his car. The head chef recognized the man as a recent applicant who was in the restaurant just days before and had knowledge of the operation.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's that job.
Now the question is not only where Kearney is, but also, of course, where's the beef? Deagle,
Beef Bandit. Return of the Beef Bandit.
Deagle wonders what he did with the meat. He'd need a
Probably ate it.
Well, here's the
No.
thing. He'd need a
No, you sell
bandsaw.
that shit.
Got to cut the loins, the chops. What's he gonna do? Eat it all? Deagle said.
No, if he keeps it frozen, he'll be able to cut it up
Yeah.
and sell it individually.
Yeah, you can do that, or it'll last for a good while frozen.
Yeah, I guess.
So if you've seen this man, so those of you in YouTube, when this airs on YouTube, if this has not been solved by the time this video comes out. If you have seen this man or have any knowledge about this gentleman and whereabouts of all the meats that he has tendered, please call your local police or the Roswell police as soon as possible.
Let me actually check.
We must catch this man. We must catch this man red-handed.
Oh, let's see. I mean, there's nothing that happens beyond... Yeah, no, there's nothing really that says anything about where Warren Kearney is, whether or not he got caught. Every article I see is February 18th to February 20th. Man accused of stealing $15,000 worth. Nothing about people catching him. It's just him being identified and people looking for him.
So we can assume at this point he might be still on the run. So again, if you know who this man is, if you know of his whereabouts, and if he has not been apprehended by the time this appears on YouTube, please inform your local police about him. And if he has been captured already, as Greymane said, yeah, spill the beans on the beef bandits. As many beans as can be made.
I think on that note, we need
all I can think about is all the bad Pink Panther films. Okay, just framed in the beef bandit.
Bad? I don't remember a Pink Panther film being bad.
The American ones, the ones that are made.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah. See, I don't acknowledge that those exist.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think on that note, we need a minute to fucking get the giggles out of our system.
We need to not be 12 years old for a little while.
Yeah, so we'll be right back with Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestial Radio, all fandom all the time. Except when it's 20 inches of thick, juicy meat.
Meats.
Welcome back, passengers, to Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestial Radio, all fandom all the time. It's time to start with the hardcore material. Nothing too, impressive. Well, I say that because I was struggling for news, but let's actually judge for ourselves the content of which I have found. Let's start first and foremost with lawyers.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Why?
You'll never find a more dangerous hub of treachery and villainy.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines of all time involving lawyers and the U.S. government was from 1776.
Yeah.
I have found that one useless man is called a disgrace, that two become a law firm, and three or more become a congress.
Yeah. I remember that line.
Nice.
But let it be said that in spite of some of their douchebaggery, lawyers are human beings like the rest of us. And like human beings, they can fuck up royally. Naked lawyer busted for bar antics.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yes, of course you'd hear about this one. Righty-o. This happened the week of February 21st. After she was refused service by a bar manager, a drunk Florida lawyer went into the restroom and then emerged unclothed and completely naked. According to an arrest report, Kelly Elkins, 49, entered the beach lounge in St. Pete Beach around 2:15 a.m. that Friday, but was, quote, intoxicated to the point the manager refused to serve her. Instead of departing, Elkins walked into the restroom and then came back out into the bar unclothed and completely naked. When Elkins refused the manager's request to get dressed, cops were summoned. Upon arriving at the bar, a Pinellas County sheriff noted that Elkins was still naked and had to be repeatedly told to get dressed. But but the attorney would only put on a hoodie, which she did not zip up. Elkins, the cop reported, claimed she was too tired to put on her pants. Elkins' naked antics played out in front of several bar patrons. Charged with disorderly conduct, Elkins was booked into the county jail, from which she was later released on her own recognizance. Elkins, who was admitted to the Florida bar in 2001, is also a licensed real estate broker. Thank you, Smoking Gun, for that fucking padding.
I have to wonder what the legal ramifications of hitting people like that with a cold CO2 fire extinguisher would be.
Assault.
Yeah, assault. Because those things can be used as a fucking weapon.
Not to be confused with a pepper.
You.
Anyway.
But no,
Huh?
no. What Gray is saying that to spray them down with the fire extinguisher, not to smack them with the actual
Right,
tank.
exactly. It would be.
Oh,
it
no,
would
yeah,
be-
yeah, spraying them down, yeah.
Right. It would be puff them with the cold CO2, which doesn't leave any residue, and as long as you don't repeatedly do it, is not damaging.
Here's the thing. In a situation like that, Gray, I don't think anyone would charge you. But if she was, like, I've known some dick-ass district attorneys.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do it in, like, Missouri. Or Louisiana. Which one is it? That's the man-hating state.
Who does a lawyer call when they need a lawyer?
Another lawyer.
Another lawyer.
I don't know. That always just tickles me whenever like a lawyer is going to court and they need a lawyer. It's just like, hey Frank, hey Jill.
It happened to a guy I knew. He was an attorney and got busted for DUI.
It's just like the lawyer that's representing the lawyer just looks to his client like, really? You've been practicing law for how long, and you've somehow gotten yourself in this situation? Couldn't you use a little bit of foresight at least? But yeah. Nothing like some naked antics to start off the hardcore material, eh? Now our next article is going to get a little bit political. Just a little bit political. It has to do with vaccinations. Now, at this point, in terms of vaccinations, you're either vaccinated or you're going to die. That's just straight up fact at this point. You're either vaccinated or you're going to die. That's just straight up fact at this point. There's no reason to get upset. There's no reason to get all pissy. And there's no reason to pull a gun because of a pro-vaccination sticker. Road rage triggered by pro-vax sticker.
And someone clearly chose violence today.
Yes.
Again.
Yes. March 2nd. A New Mexico woman became so incensed by a pro-vaccination bumper sticker on another motorist's car that she threw a water bottle at the vehicle before pulling a gun on the other driver. According to police, the road rage incident began that Sunday afternoon when Christina Blair, 33, began yelling obscenities and honking her horn at Gabriel Chavez as the pair's vehicles traveled on an Albuquerque road. Blair, cops say, was angered by a vaccinated bumper sticker on Chavez's car. Chavez, according to a criminal complaint, told police that he gestured for Blair to drive around him, but she proceeded to follow him to an intersection. While at a red light, Blair threw something at his vehicle. Concerned that the confrontation was becoming more aggressive, a frightened Chavez sought to drive away from the situation. But Chavez then accidentally backed into Blair's car, prompting him to pull into the parking lot of a nearby Walgreens to exchange insurance information. An extremely irate Blair, cops say, retrieved a handgun from her car and racked the weapon. A video provided by Chavez to police showed Blair, quote, reach into her vehicle and produce a weapon, the complaint charges. An investigator added that Blair, who was standing 6 feet from Chavez, appeared to, quote, run the slide and make the gun ready for live fire. When Blair produced the weapon, Chavez called 911 in fear that she was going to shoot him. Since Chavez's video recorded Blair's license plate number, officers were able to track her to an Albuquerque residence. After being read her rights, Blair reportedly said she honked her horn at Chavez after spotting his vaccinated bumper sticker and later threw an empty water bottle at his auto. Asked about brandishing her gun, Blair claimed that she became frightened of Chavez. Oh, really?
I wonder why.
Police, however, concluded that Blair, quote, did have an opportunity to leave the area in her vehicle, but instead overtly reached into her vehicle and retrieved a handgun, threatening Gabriel with the firearm. Blair was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and booked into the Bernalillo County Jail on the felony charge. She is locked up in advance of a March 3rd detention hearing sought by prosecutors who described Blair as a dangerous person whose actions, quote, show that she has no regard for the safety of others. Blair, prosecutors noted, was convicted in 2007 of aggravated assault and tampering with evidence, while her 4 juvenile contacts were all violent in nature.
And clearly, people woke up on these various days and chose violence.
Yeah.
Whatever they chose, it was the wrong choice.
And you have chosen poorly.
It was completely wrong. Like, again, I'm not going to harp on the whole vaccination politics thing. At this point, getting vaccinated is just the smart choice if you want to be healthy and avoid getting disease. I'm not just talking COVID. I'm talking like other diseases like shingles, the flu, whatever. Like vaccination.
Measles.
Yeah.
We had nearly eradicated measles, and then someone decided, "Oh, you want to get vaccine."
I don't want to get vaccinated because it causes autism. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
It never did.
So, okay, real quick, guys. Sorry. I have to do this small little rant because I want to make sure that this information gets out to every single corner of media that I possibly can, okay?
Go for it.
Folks, the guy who said vaccines cause autism was a doctor
And a fraud.
who was lying out his ass. And the reason he did that is he took a single study that showed correlation, not causation, between a number of kids that were autistic and got vaccines, but he never found a link to it. And the reason he did this was so he could push his own alternative vaccines. He was a doctor who was also working in the pharmaceutical industry to make alternatives to the other, inoculants that we have. And he was trying to defame these so he could push his. He has since had his medical license revoked, and the board of doctors, or whoever the hell is in charge of that stuff, still refuses to this day to grant his license back.
Mm-hmm.
His father was also an MD and is ashamed of him.
Mm-hmm. So let it be said on the Trademark right now. We are pro-vaccination not because we're pretentious dickheads, but because we want to live and not have all these horrible diseases. Like, COVID is just the most recent thing to be vaccinated against. Like, we've just listed all these other diseases and we all want to be protected against them. So, being vaccinated is just a smart choice overall. And for someone to freak out about, someone showing pride that they are vaccinated, because in the year 2022, apparently being vaccinated is a statement that one has to make. For someone to freak out to the point of pulling out a gun.
This is in New Mexico, right?
Albuquerque, New Mexico, yes.
If the person who got the gun drawn at them absolutely could have drawn their own gun, shot her, and been perfectly fine.
And for those of you who are religious and say, well, if we're meant to be healthy, God will make us healthy. He'll send us a miracle. The miracle he sent was the invention of the vaccine.
Yeah.
There's your miracle. Take it.
Sometimes
as a matter of fact,
make their own miracles.
It's actually kind of funny. I did hear a news. I did see an interview recently.
I'm a fisherman.
What's Code saying back there?
He said, it's the old tale. I asked God to save me from drowning in the river. So God sent a fisherman in a boat.
And he ignored that fisherman 3 times, and the guy died, and asked God, why didn't you save me? I sent you 3 fucking fishermen, dude.
I sent you 3 fucking boats.
God will save me. God himself.
I even actually saw this interview from a theological scholar who basically said that the whole thing of religious exemption, that there is very few actual Christian, Muslim, or Jewish sects that have this no vaccine policy. So this religious exemption actually doesn't exist in the majority of the majority of the mainstream religions that exist right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Anyway, moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward. Final point. Get vaccinated or die. That's the main point at this point with the whole vaccine argument. But let's move on to our final hardcore article, which is going to be quite a fucking ride. Oh man. I don't have any witty segue as per usual, but I think the title of the article speaks for itself. Georgia official accused of faking not 1 but 2 pregnancies, and also planned not 1 but 2 fake weddings.
Hey.
Yeah. Let's talk about this one. February 24th, Atlanta, Georgia. A Cobb County attorney says she was shocked to learn that a one-time close friend who was a highly paid state official has been charged with 4 felony counts of trying to defraud the state by faking 2 pregnancies. The state attorney general's office obtained the indictment of 43-year-old Robin Folsom earlier this month. Well, earlier February, but either way. Folsom left her job as the top communications official at the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency, GVRA, after being confronted by state investigators in October 2021. Attorney Meredith Carter emailed the AG's office at the State Inspector General after she learned of Folsom's indictment. It's just amazing this was happening. I had no idea, Carter told the local news. Carter says she has to be good at evaluating people so she can sort out prospective clients, but she admits she and a small circle of friends completely misjudged Robin Folsom. Apparently, according to the State Inspector General, Office and State Inspector General, the OIG, either way. According to them, Folsom faked 2 pregnancies between October 2019 and May 2021. Asked by Belcher if she saw any signs that Folsom was pregnant or whether she had stopped drinking alcoholic beverages during social events, Carter answered, never. Any discussion of pregnancy? Never. In a news release, the OIG said Folsom's alleged scheme began to unravel in March 2021 when a GVRA co-worker noticed that Folsom was wearing what appeared to be a fake pregnancy belly costume under her outer garments. Because yes, those things do exist.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Some people make a business to actually sell that sort of shit.
Well, it's so the prospective mom can get like a feeling of what it's going to be like.
That's
and
its
also
intention, yes.
sometimes when in a therapy situation where dads want a better or prospective dads are having trouble understanding what their wives are going through, they'll wear a false pregnancy belly themselves so they can understand exactly how the mom feels with this weight on her.
All right.
And if you're a fantastic romantic comedy adaptation of Taming of the Shrew, it's for an overprotective, paranoid dad to do to his teenage daughter.
It's also for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyway.
So theater, for preparation, for sympathy.
Mm-hmm. Also, for whatever the hell Folsom was doing.
Fraud.
Yeah, one of...
I'm puzzled here. I'm puzzled here. I don't understand what she's doing. So
The one time Greymane is fucking flummoxed.
yeah.
I may have an idea, but I want to hear the rest of the article.
Mm-hmm. So, one of the counts in the indictment accuses her of creating a fake identity of the purported father of at least one of her alleged children. GVRA received an email from that person requesting additional leave benefits for Folsom, and there it is.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely am just astounded that she made up another person, a father, a baby father, and was saying that she was pregnant at a time when we were making plans. We went to Lake Lanier in July 2020, and she was not pregnant. Carter
It's pronounced
told the local
Lanier.
news. Lanier, I don't fucking
That's
care.
Lake Lanier.
I don't fucking care.
I kind of care because I lived just below it.
Ew, my apologies.
Yes.
But Carter says the fake pregnancy allegations aren't what drove a wedge between her and Folsom. Oh no. Early last year, at a time when, unknown to Carter, Folsom claimed she was pregnant, Carter says her friend announced she was getting married. She shopped for a dress and picked out a venue. She asked Carter to be one of the bridesmaids. In fact, Carter says, she and other friends ultimately discovered that it was a lot more complicated. She was actually planning 2 fake weddings, and I was in one. One wedding was going to be in the mountains, and another group was at a wedding that was going to happen at Key West, Florida, she told Belcher. Carter says the purported groom was a fellow state employee, who the local news is withholding, but, quote, when I looked it up, I saw he was married. Carter says she gave her pal, quote, the benefit of the doubt. But when Folsom's wedding claims fell apart last July, when Carter and other friends finally figured out that the weddings were a fiction. Carter says she and Folsom haven't spoken since, and she's astonished at what her former friend faces. I don't think that any of this was about money. I really just think Robin needs to get some help, she told Belcher.
Here's
Yes.
the thing. I've heard, so being a crime drama nut helps me understand shit like this. There's one of two things going on here. Potentially, it's both of them in tandem. One, obviously, she wants leave. She wants to be able to take paid vacations, and the two things that will allow you to take paid vacations are weddings and maternity leaves. This is a good way to get to work around the system, depending on your company, or in this case, your government's policy for their employees, to be able to wiggle around and get a little extra time off. I'm going on my honeymoon. Make an elaborate so what do you do? You lie on top of lie on top of lie, so you can make it look like, yes, you are getting married and you are getting a honeymoon. Or you wear the fake belly and call out for doctor's appointments so that you could get some maternity leave, be paid for all of it, and then go back later.
And then have all your coworkers go, how did you stay so fit? You had a kid!
Or go, what happened to the baby? So that you can then spin a sad tale of, I lost the baby, or they died by a horrible accident, or blah, blah, blah. Or in the case of the wedding situation, he left me at the altar, so I went on the honeymoon without the bastard. Okay then, but you didn't actually get married, so now you're in some trouble. Or they go with, we got divorced as soon as we got back, we just couldn't stand each other, we realized it was too soon. Or some other shit to justify it. But these lies mostly come about from people who are pathological liars, who thrive on attention, and who don't like confrontation when their lie gets out of hand. They want to project a particular image of themselves. They want to look like they're perfect in front of people, especially if they have a high profile kind of life, or they're very wealthy, or they have, a lot of stuff on their shoulders. Case in point, this girl who was working for her local legislature and is clearly seen strongly and either comes from money or wants to come from money. So what does she do? She starts making lies. Why is she doing this? Oh, I'm getting married. Oh, I'm going to have a baby. And so in order to justify the lie, well, where's the baby bump? Fake belly. Where's the ring? Goes and buys a diamond ring. Starts planning for 2 different weddings because, hell, she might have even had originally planned to be in the mountains, but then decided, no, I'd really rather be down in Florida. Or she might have accidentally said one and then had to come up with both to justify the other. Who knows? But yeah, pathological liars. Eventually, the house of cards will fall in these types of situations, and part of it is very much psychological, because the deepest root of all of this is a need for attention.
Yep.
She likes attention. She likes the attention of being pregnant. She likes the attention of being engaged. She likes the attention of being the center of everyone's eye.
And now she's got too much.
And now she's got it, just not the way she wanted it.
Yep, because now everyone wants a statement from her, but she's not able to give one. Because I think like her attorney or whatever is just telling her, don't fucking
shut up,
answer
don't
phone
say a
calls,
thing.
don't say a fucking thing.
Don't talk.
She's in custody over in Washington, D.C. Where she's having... She had her initial trial over there. She'll have to be returned to Georgia to face trial in Fulton County.
This girl did not choose violence today. Instead,
this girl chose fantasy.
She chose
this girl chose a fake baby bump.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not surprising that we see people like this coming out of the woodwork more. I mean, for 4 years, our entire country was run by a pathological liar. And he got away with it scot-free.
Yeah.
There are many people in this country, unfortunately, who think that they can live a lie and get away with it if they really believe hard enough. They think that if they believe it hard enough and they act it hard enough and they try hard enough to get people to believe the lie, then the lie will either come true, or when the truth comes out, people will be like, I'm not mad at you.
I'm just disappointed.
Oh, I'm just disappointed, or just shake their finger with a grin and go, oh, you. Oh, you silly thing. You got one over on us.
I think that's a good enough place to stop for tonight. Oh, boy. Again, for a night where I felt a little bit stretched for content, I think we got a good roster for the evening, don't you think?
At least it's not more meat.
Don't get us started again.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestial all fandom all the time. With me here tonight has been RandomGreymane.
Man meat.
Damn it.
Sherlock.
Yeah, just pull into the station. I'll get the fuck off.
And TheFangirl.
I invite you to my 6 weddings where I will be marrying Chris Evans, Sebastian Stan, Robert Downey Jr., Tom Hiddleston, and Codemaster C.
all at the same time.
I've chosen all 6 venues. I have positions within the wedding party for all of them. Also, I'm having triplets.
Anywho, folks.
We will be catering with meat.
Oh, man. As always, folks.
What's that smell? Don't worry, it was just down the caterer's pants.
And we tie it all in. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, our theme song was created by Marivex, and our banner art was created by Court Awesome. You can find their social media, our social media, and all the links to every article we discussed in the description below in the YouTube iteration, where I humbly request that y'all like, comment, subscribe, and all that garbage.
I am
As
a
a-
coffee.
As always, my name is Trademark, and good night.
Good night, Trademark.
Bye-bye.